Okay, this should be the last little helpful tutorial on how to use the Motic microscope camera. I'm going to end with what to do with your pictures after you've taken them, how to put measurements on them, and how to save them, how to export them, and how to eventually insert them into a Google Doc that can be then turned in as a lab report. So, once again, to get to the Motic software, this is assuming you don't already have it open. We go to the Science under Class Applications. Motic Plus 3.0 is the software that needs to be used. In the last video, we took a picture of a little baby squid, so I'm going to try to get that back. Go to File, and Capture. And remember, we need it to be on Motic 2.0 megapixel camera, not demo mode. Otherwise, we will not see this specimen. We want to have our exposure turned off and be allowed to expose and gain as freely as we want to. So I'm going to take a picture. And remember, it doesn't look like anything happened, but if we go down here to the behind the scenes look, we can see that we did. I'm going to select that picture by clicking on that thumbnail. Okay. Now let's say we want to know the width of this squid's eyeball. We go over here to the Measure tab. Now this is assuming you've already got it calibrated. Remember, that's the first step you should always do. But I'm going to show you, even if you forgot to do that, how quick it really is to recalibrate. We go to the Calibration Wizard. We load the image known as calibration dot, which we find in the shared folder under MHS, under Students, under Dullinger, and right there. We load that image. It's been taken under 10x. Make sure that number says 10x, which it does. I can be sure and tell you that that dot is 150 microns across, so you have to select that number. Click Calibration. You don't need to do anything with this screen. Click Save. Click Close. Now we're ready to go. Now what's very important here is you have to look over at this box. We want to be in microns. That's the unit we want to use. We don't want millimeters or centimeters or inches. We want microns. That's that funny looking letter U followed by an M. But then look at this box. This is very, very important. This number needs to correspond with the lens that was in place when you took the picture. I took this picture of the squid with the 4x, or the lowest lens, in place. So I need to change that to reflect that reality. Because if I don't, my measurements are going to be off. And I'll show you what I mean by that in a moment. If you click on, there's line. Select the line measurement, drag your cursor over, go on one end of the eyeball, click, drag, and release. I can move this box out of the way. Now this tells me that that eyeball of the squid is 103.18 microns across. Now this method of measuring is a lot more accurate than that guesstimate way I taught you before. Now what's nice about this is you can move this so it's not on top of your specimen. You can move it out of the way. If you didn't like your measurement, if you didn't think you got it right from end to end, you can always select this and delete it. Get rid of it and just redo it. Select, click, drag, and release. And get that out of the way. But I can't stress this enough. Now watch what happens to this number if I would have left it at 10x. That number changes, and it would now tell us that our eyeball is 41 microns. That's not correct, because this picture was not taken with the 10x lens in place. It was taken with the 4x lens. So you can do all kinds of different measurements if you'd like. Now, how do you save this picture? Go up to File. Once all your measurements are done, go to File, and don't do Save and don't do Save As. Go to Export instead. It's important you do this step. Give it a file name. So I'm going to call this Squid. And what I like to do is remind myself what lens was in place when I took this picture. So I'm going to type Squid 4X. Now this is also very important. You have to change the file type to a JPEG. JPEG or JPG. You have to do this. Now finally you have to tell your computer where you want this to go. So I would suggest creating your own folder in your home directory, creating a folder and calling it Pictures. I'll put it in My Pictures and click finally Save. And now it's there. So after you've taken all your pictures and saved them, here's what I would want you to do with them. I want you to open up a new Google Doc. And I'll have a folder always in place within your class colored folder for labs like this. Now you would want to insert this picture. Insert image, upload from the computer. Now I got to find that photo. If it was in my H drive under My Pictures, there it is, Squid 4X. Double click, and there's my picture of the squid with the measurement already embedded. I can shrink that down. I can wrap text and then drag it around. Now the reason I want you to do this is because now you can label things, such as I can have you, for example, type the word eyeball. And I can have you go into Insert Shapes or Drawing. Oh, that's not going to work. I thought there was a way within Google Docs to add arrows and things like that. You guys probably know this better than I. So I'm just going to stop the video there until I can figure this out. But the idea would be get your picture inserted into this blank canvas, and you could label things and draw arrows to specific structures, and then you could turn that in. And if we can't find a way to do that, you could always do this in a Word document as well. With Microsoft Word, they have tools that can add arrows and things. So that's the end of how to use the Motic microscope camera. You've got 3 different videos that are linked to the lab report entitled The Study of Cells, and you can watch these things as many times as you need to remind yourself of various topics and how to do things. And if you get confused, you can still always ask me. So good luck, and I'll see you in lab.